So we're going to look at how to stop the waiter sweep and the handstand sweep, which is basically the same thing. I'll just go over what two sweeps are. We'll go into a lot more detail on it when we covered eventually in the Danaher bottom closed guard system, but I'll just quickly go over what we should be doing. So last time when Tyrone was on his knees and he was looking for this sleeve, and I was playing hide and seek, and then he couldn't do it, so he's going to pass to this side, and then he does his move. Now, the problem with that is he hasn't tied up one of my arms. We talked about how if he had this sleeve, 90% of my game is done away with. So now I have two free hands. So last time we looked at, probably the easiest thing I could do would be to find this, drop down, and start attack the double angle grab sweep, which we covered. We didn't cover if I fully take Tyrone down and he's late there, but we'll cover that another time. The other thing I can do is from this position is as he stands up and I still have the cross grip. First option is the waiter sweep. Okay, where I have the cross grip, I underhook Tyrone's leg, lift my hips. My hips are above Tyrone's hips, and I use the flaring of my left knee to turn Tyrone's right knee out. This takes him down. Now in Jiu-Jitsu, if this ends up in a scramble, I get no points. Even though I swept Tyrone onto his arse, unless I actually physically come up and get into the mount and hold it for a few seconds, you don't get any points. So don't get too concerned about someone sweeping you. In fact, Danaher said that if you get up into a square stance while trying to open a guard, 40 to 50% of the time you're going to get swept onto your arse, which doesn't mean a lot. Unless you're stopping the guy from getting top position. Sometimes Tyrone's going to do the same pass again. Same concept though. Let's just say I'm here. Tyrone happens to stand up. This whole thing again, nice. But let's just say from there he breaks this grip. And now he gets vertical posture. Okay. So from there we end up here. Now even though my legs are over his hips, but my hips now are lower. Just drop down again there, bro. When I had Tyrone here with the cross grip and the waiter sweep, I could lift my hips up and they were actually over the top of Tyrone's hips, if that makes sense, because he's bent over. But if he gets vertical posture, now my hips are below his hips. So now I need to actually get my hips higher, so that's when we did the handstand sweep. I put my hand on the mat, lift my hips above Tyrone's, and then the flaring of my knee turns this knee out, which takes him over. And again, I'd be coming up. And again, a common reaction, Tyrone can push with his hand to stop me, and that can give me arm bars, or I'd be falling onto my side, and I'd have all that jazz. So I could use that offensively by sweeping someone and then they stupidly post with an open arm and give me an arm. I'm not going into too much detail on that. I'll send you a vid on that later, that actually arm bar from that position, but we're not going to cover it now. So Tyrone's on bottom. If we understand the concepts of how the sweep is working, both sweeps, Tyrone flares his knee to open my knee out. Then the offense, the counter is the opposite. I'm not going to let him open my knee out, okay? Which puts him in a dilemma. So we're in our position. I'm doing all the things we've done so far. First thing is I make wedges. I'm on the balls of my feet. I get this grip. I'm looking for that because that's the safe way to come up, tie up one of his arms. 90% of his offense is tied up. But he's not giving it to me, so we have to do last week's move. So I make the grip in the pants of the belt, elbow inside. And then from this position, I'm coming up on the same side, but on the same side of the posted arm. But the leg movement's the same, it's just we're doing it opposite. So again, weight over hands, second foot comes up. Possibly now Tyrone's probably a wee bit more high percentage would be the waiter sweep. He makes the cross grip here. Okay, perfect. And now from there he underhooks the leg. Now he lifts his hips up just to get them slightly over mine. And then he turns his knee out, which turns my knee out. Keep your leg here, you have to keep the closed guard. You can't do this sweep unless your guard is closed. And now with that hip movement out, he just keeps turning his knee out, which takes me over. And now his goal will be to still keep getting his hips over my hips, and now he's coming into the mounted position. Perfect. The other sweep is workable too. Possibly if you haven't got the cross grip. And again, I'm not going to go into too much detail, but it's the same concepts as well. So I'm looking for that, can't get it. So we're here, this. Maybe he made that and I stripped it and we end up here and I'm trying to open his guard. He's still going to underhook my leg, puts his hand on the mat and gets his hips above my hips. You gotta really lift up there, bro. And then he flurs his knee to take me over, same thing. Two good basic fundamental guard sweeps. And again, they're quite unusual because you actually keep your guard closed the whole time. Obviously, if it was competition, I would still be keeping them closed even as he falls. So he wrecks his back. But in training, we open our legs so you're not falling on the junction. But the defense is just the opposite of what Tyrone does. He wants to turn my knee out. I'm going to use my hip and a back step to not let him turn my knee out. And then I'm going to open his legs and pass. So basic wee counter works really well. And then next time we'll look at if he actually takes me the whole way down. So from our position, I'm here. Wedges, make my grip, looking for that, but now we have another option. So 1, 2, I'm here. So let's just say Tyrone starts to, you can even make that grip, doesn't really matter. So once he underhooks my leg, the first thing I'm doing is I know he wants to turn this knee out. So as he starts to flare my knee, I'm backstepping with this leg. That's the first thing. I'm also using my knee against his hip. Okay? Keep turning my knee out, bro. You can see the grimace on his face. It's just not happening, is it? Now, I'm going to make a wedge on the inside of his leg. And as I use my knee to stop him from turning my knee out, I start to open the leg. Okay? Now from there, I'll strip this, I'll kick this back, and now I'm ready to start passing. You need to get this done on you to feel. I'm trying to do it easy because it's such a killer on the back. But as he turns my knee out, the three things I'm doing to put pressure on Tyrone's closed guard is 1, I backstep with this leg. 2, I use my knee against this hip because he's trying to turn my knee out using turning his knee out, and I'm turning my knee in. The third thing is I make counter pressure on this knee. It's very hard for him to keep his guard open when I put pressure on this hip, and then I use that elbow on the inside of the knee to open this guard. So 3 subtle movements. So again, wedges. I'm here, I'm looking for that, I can't get it, I grab the pants. So it's 1, 2, I'm coming up. The minute he does that, whether it's the handstand sweep or whatever, go, that's all I'm doing there. And I might have to do that several times, but that's the pressure I want there. And now I open the guard. And again, you know, now the angle's changed a little bit because he went for that handstand sweep, so my move to pass would be just this, and then a pass. So we'll look at the waiter sweep first. You'll find you're a little bit closer to this leg and slightly more perpendicular when he goes for the handstand sweep. So we're in our position. Wedges. I'm here. Can't get that. So 1, 2. I'm here. He makes that particular grip. Go for the sweep. Go for the sweep. And I'm there. The minute I get to there, I have to break that grip, kick this leg forward, and probably come back into some sort of bullfighter control. And again, we'll cover that pass later in the mesocycle. Just shove it forward this way. He goes for the waiter sweep. Wedges. So, wrong side. This time I'm here. Right, he goes for that, and maybe I break that. So now he's trying for his handstand sweep. The minute he underhooks that, same thing. That's all I'm doing. I'm backstepping and pressure. The minute I get to there, I'm kind of more in this position. So sometimes maybe the easiest pass would be to move my hips forward. And then I can kind of drop in the position there. So, let's play with that.